That's nice.
At it. And
And
then
that was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah, we went back to the strip club where I did not have nearly as much fun as I did the first night. So
Yeah, I got another one at like 2:30 a.m. and I screen capped this, and I should have sent this to Steve-O, but here's the face. Here's Brad's face. And
Yeah.
$200 later, some well spent, some the worst investment ever. We're building a system.
That sounds like one of my poems.
I'm still not sure what
Right?
I'm still not sure what it means. If I could get a translation or an elaboration on that.
it means there's no standard rules when it comes to strip clubs in Florida. Some girls, they let you do whatever you want. Some girls, it's like, you can't touch at all. And I'm like, oh, you're supposed to sit on, she's like, you're supposed to sit on your hands. And in my head, I'm like, sure wish I didn't already give you that $40.
Sit on your hands.
Sit on my hands at a strip club in Florida. Are you fucking serious right now? Like, I thought about getting up and just leaving during the dance. Like, you already have my money. What's the matter? 2 o'clock's coming up quick.
I mean, you're touching them with the part that matters.
Nope. No contact with this one. Nothing.
What?
Standing
Yeah,
from-
I know. It's
I
baffling.
thought it was supposed to be like a lap dance.
That's what I thought, too. Instead, she's like, oh, no, I just do table dances. And I'm like, in my head, I'm still new at it. I don't know what that means. I wonder what that means. But, yeah. No.
I feel like that would be awkward to be sitting away from a girl that's just looking at you and dancing.
Yeah.
It's probably just easier for everyone involved if she's just on your junk.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
As the Lord intended.
It's a much more enjoyable time for everybody involved.
Is that moment when you go into that drunken rage and just like jump up and throw your beer and go, "You think you're better than me? Well, what? You think you're better than me?" And then
No, but that would have been a good idea. Would have saved me some money on the
Yeah,
south
I was
end.
gonna say would have got you kicked out, but
Yeah, I
maybe
got
that.
kicked out. Whatever. See y'all in a year. You won't remember me. I'll shave my beard. Just like in Red Dead. You won't know who I am.
Put a different hat on.
Steve-O, you had a question for everybody that I liked.
Yeah.
You did not tell us yet.
Yeah, except I didn't tell you what it was. Yeah, I expect everyone to have some way to answer this question. What sound can you play with genitals that other people might admire?
I feel like you just pulled that off a front page.
Not front page.
We'll play with Jill.
I'm not sure I
I'm
understand.
I've told you. I just look at Ask Reddit when I need something. I just look at Ask Reddit.
Read it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question.
What sound? Okay, I'll read it probably the way that it should be written. What sound can you make with your genitals that other people might admire you for?
Oh,
Okay.
So it's like armpit farts, but
Yeah, but with your genitals.
you with your junk that other people would be like, oh, that's
Like,
cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh,
Hey,
The possibilities are endless.
I can play chopsticks.
That's chopsticks for anyone that doesn't know. You've heard it. You've all seen the movie Big.
You have. All of you have.
Every single one of you. When you walk
Can
into the mall,
I'm sorry. Continue. And then
you go in the mall, and like every mall, they have the like the human size piano that you step on to make the notes happen. Every mall has it. It's a cliche for a reason.
This time of year they got it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. There's a part in a movie. The movie's called Big. The actor is Tom Hanks. You may have heard of him. And him and his boss, I guess, are like playing this song on. It's really cool. It's very well choreographed. I'm impressed they pulled it off.
You knew Tom Hanks could do that.
Yeah, that's how I knew he was going to be a great Forrest Gump.
Does he do it with his genitals though? Steve-O, let's talk about
I was waiting for the Tom Hanks genital connection.
It's just not you
Sound
using
you
the
can make.
genitals on something else to make a sound.
I see the pen moving. I hope you're writing down Tom Hanks genital connection.
concentrating. Somebody give me an answer to this. I don't have one.
Can anyone make a sound with their genitals?
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
I
okay,
can't.
you know,
If I got a raging boner and I slap the door to my room, it'll sound like somebody's hammering just because of the architecture.
You stretch your balls.
But that might impress somebody. What's that noise? Oh, it's just roommate beating his dick against the door like a hammer.
That's what he does.
He's got to learn somehow.
He blew,
you know,
he blew up, got angry at the strip club, and now he's banging his dick on the wall.
well, you got to make it go down
$40
somehow.
for a table dance. God damn it.
Is there anything anyone can do with their
You-
genitals
okay.
that would impress anyone?
You know that's the Ricola commercials, the Ricola cough drops.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's got the big horn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you just do that with your genitals?
I just did that with my genitals.
Oh.
Don't hide
you
it
go.
under a bushel, Steve-O. Let it shine.
Careful, you don't pull something there.
All right, so wait, what was the other one that I had?
I don't remember.
What is something that everyone praises but is actually horrible?
Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll second that. I just like November Rain in Paradise City, and pretty much that's it.
Welcome
like
to the
some-
jungle.
Somebody skinning
Yeah.
a cat while it's still alive. That's
True.
what Axl Rose sounds like. I can't stand it. Hate it.
When I sing along to Guns N' Roses, I hate myself. So, but also the Beatles.
Yes. Oh, yes. The Beatles. They were probably good for their time, but it ain't good no mo. They're like the Nokia of
This-
music, right?
this-
Like the
I cannot agree with in any way.
well,
Yeah, I
it's
don't like. Yeah.
it's true. It's
the
just
no-
like
Nokia music.
Nokia.
Time.
Nokia was a very popular cell phone that everyone had. It was cheap, and you could change the faceplate on it. It was great. But then other phones came out. And
Yeah.
and so the Nokia, it's like we don't look back on the Nokia like, oh, the Nokia. I wish I could just use my Nokia. It's the same way with Beatles, It's like, yeah, they were good at the time, but then better
And then
stuff.
Coldplay happened.
Excellent point. I just watched the They just put out a documentary called whatever the name of their album is, their newest album, and man, I tell you what, it really makes you really feel for those guys. They worked really hard for a long time, and they really felt good about this latest album. It kind of made me feel bad because I've been a fan of theirs for years, and I just did not even want to try their newest album, and then I finally did like a month ago, and I really like it.
I mean, I understand the idea that the Beatles are overpraised. Like they I mean, people treat it like almost like a religion,
Mhm.
like Star Wars or something.
Yeah.
Be another example of this. But saying like it was a thing of its time and it's done, it's like people still view the pinnacle of music, classical music, things like Mozart, and like that shit's from like 400 years ago. So,
But
Yeah.
I think the difference, and now I do have to say, look, I don't really feel this way about the Beatles. There are some good songs that I can appreciate, but for the most part, most of what I hear that people are like, oh, I just love the Beatles, it's all very simple stuff. You know, and whereas with the classical stuff, that's very complicated music, and it's easy to appreciate something even though it's that old for being complicated and technical. But maybe Nirvana is another good example. Like Nirvana was just 4 chords all day long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the same in many of those songs. I was in a band that, for whatever reason, our lead singer was a huge Nirvana fan, and they came out with a box set, and he was like, "Well, let's honor Nirvana by playing just a set of just Nirvana songs." We're like, "Okay." It was like 20 Nirvana songs. I swear there were only like 3 different chord progressions that we had to learn, and what made it really difficult is they used the same notes. They would just rearrange them. So it was like, wait, so is this one GCDC or is it CDGC or is it DCGA? Oh, there's an A. They were all so similar. And of course I was playing bass, so it made it really, really similar. You're just playing one note at a time. And so that was when I was like, man, this band is really overrated. And felt justified. I'd already felt that way before, but then I felt justified.
See, I don't know. See, the Beatles, I mean, there's classic music, and then there's ahead of their time music, and I'm actually a little surprised that you have to take that like we should just Beatles. Meh. I think. I
don't think we should destroy their music or anything. I don't think you should never be.
Shut down Paul McCartney.
I mean, I'm not saying that I hate them or that they should be praised or honored, but I do think, in the canon of music history, that the Beatles should go down as something, and that their music should be listened to.
I think they opened a door. You know, they kind of led people to this new era, I guess.
If you look at musicians now musicians that people would consider all-time greats, you ask them, why did you do this? They're going to say the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to say it. They're going to say Sgt. Pepper's.
Sounds almost like a cop-out.
My favorite band, King Crimson, Robert Fripp, the guitar player, one of the best in the world, he started playing guitar because of Sgt. Pepper's, that album. Yeah, I mean, that it's influenced so many people now that you might prefer to listen to, and you know that is a big deal.
Yeah, that
never influenced me to do a damn thing.
And there's also the thought that there were bands that came out at that time that their whole motivation for being who they were and setting their niche and their is to be so far away from the Beatles. So the Beatles in and of themselves, just by in and part of their success, it actually had an effect on that industry. So there were others that came out that said, well, we just cannot be the Beatles. I mean, the Monkees could not want to not be the Beatles anymore.
I know.
But they still kept making them, their management and whatnot, still cut their hair and
wait, you're saying they didn't want to be the Beatles? I thought they were just a complete knockoff of the Beatles.
Some would be a knockoff. That's what I'm saying is the Beatles by themselves at that time created other bands, either by wanting to be like them or want to be a success without being anything like them.
Yeah. I think,
like the Doors.
Yeah.
Doors didn't want to be the Beatles. They wanted to be as successful as the Beatles. They didn't want to be the Beatles.
So they just wanted to be successful. Like, why is everything a comparison to the Beatles? They wanted to be
because they were so big at that time.
These people say that. It's not like we're assigning it to them. These people actually said that themselves.
That's what I'm going to start saying at work. I'm going to try really hard so I can be as successful as the Beatles in everything I do.
As successful, but doing the exact opposite of them.
Yeah, the furthest I can be from doing what they do, I'm going to try my hardest to be as successful as them.
Does anybody have a non-music answer to this question?
The McRib. I
Yes.
said.
I like that.
Yeah.
The McRib is, yeah.
They keep saying that it's backed by popular demand or whatever it is they say every time, and I don't know anybody that likes it.
No.
Yeah. Where are they measuring this demographic from? That's where the hell I want to know.
I think
what core people say, I just got to have a McRib.
When are they bringing the McRib back?
I'm not eating McDonald's until you bring the McRib back.
the way they decide when they're going to bring the McRib back is the corporate analysts at McDonald's watch the price of pork, and when it dips below a certain point, they buy up all the pork. It raises the price back up, and then they sell it off as the McRib. They hype it up, so people who normally would never try the McRib was like, well, people have been eating this shit for years, and they seem to like it. Then you try it, you get a disappointing sandwich because you went to McDonald's and they got your money.
Yeah.
To the shape.
I'm having a hankering for mechanically separated, formed, pressed, processed meat
Just gotta
with a
think,
tasty sauce.
Those are the same words in the first ingredients out on the Slim Jim is mechanically separated chicken and beef. I'm like, those are pretty good.
it's shaped into like a small animal's rib cage.
It's weird.
Right.
I know.
If it was ribs, but it's like
of a
this.
squirrel.
Yeah, like a possum.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Dying. He's gonna dive on screen.
I gotta give me some of that McRib possum. That's some good shit right there.
Oh my god! You know what else is praised and it sucks?
What's
Rocket League.
that?
Oh,
Why would
I wouldn't even go there. Ooh.
I'm.
I have fun playing it sometimes. I just suck at it.
there's a common thing where people say something sucks when they're just bad at it.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what else is praised and it sucks? Me.
I mean, to have fun at it and not be one particularly important part, not be able to do one particularly important move in the game and not be able to do that just makes it just worthless for me.
What? Go forward.
I know jump. I can't jump. I just always go, woo.
I can't. Everyone's like, all you got to do is then point your stick forward. You can aim, and then you can double tap this, and then you do this, and then you collect this, and then and I'm still just trying to move forward.
It's really.
I'm
Yeah.
still just trying to go
it's
in a
not that
straight line.
complicated. We could get you moving. Really, if we
In
really.
no time.
I had to get that game off my Xbox to make room for Red Dead, so I still own it, but
Oh,
it is
Red
no
Dead.
longer playable on my.
Red Dead, huh?
Oh, did you bring up Red Dead?
On
you-
chapter 5 now.
Oh, chapter 5.
Crazy.
Getting down to crunch time.
Yeah. Becca, have you played that game again at all?
Nope.
I knew it.
What?
Listen, I've been busy. I have a cat now. I'm on season 4 of Elementary. It's about Sherlock Holmes. I'm busy. I work a lot. I just don't have time to be a cowboy right now.
Taking this cat for walks.
I don't do.
That's really. I wonder if that cat is going to limit your options for places when you start looking for places.
Yeah.
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 Here's about a fucking cat.
It's an animal. It's a pet. Some
Yeah,
places,
that's-
some places don't allow them at all. Some of them they do. They'll take a deposit, but some of them don't allow them at all.
There will be a place for me to live.
I don't know.
I know it.
I don't know. I'm getting where. I mean, there are some crossovers like the boardwalk thing. You can like up under there, and that's actually a lot cheaper than getting a real apartment. Just sleep underneath the crossover.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Yeah,
That'll
sucks.
keep you warm. Don't worry.
The only thing that sucks is when people walk over it, they kind of, sand like falls through the cracks of the wood, and it will like rain down on you.
Yeah, but
when
if
you
you're
try
in
to
a tent,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
you put the litter box just outside the tent, the sand will fall in the litter box, and
Excuse me?
it'll be
You're
awesome.
telling me I should bring a litter box to the beach?
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. What do you want? Somebody walking along the beach and stepping your freaking cat's poop?
Well, they already thought of that. You're not allowed to have any animals on the beach at all.
That's right. So you're gonna have to put like a mustache and glasses on that cat.
That changes everything.
They'll never recognize it. They'll never know.
What? This is Mr. Buttons.
I'll just give my cat a McRib and it'll pass as a human.
McRib and a moo. She's got a disease. She's wasting away. Give her a McRib.
I know another thing that people like, and it's just not that fruitcake.
Who
There's so
likes
mu-
Name
There's
a
so much hype about it, and people give it as gifts at Christmas. Nobody wants it.
That's
Yeah,
why
my
they're
dad
giving it
likes
away.
fruitcake. My dad likes fruitcake.
It's not like something. I mean, I would eat it if there was nothing else available. But like,
Yeah,
Yeah, if I were about to die and it was either die or eat some fruitcake, I might.
right.
It's not.
But
the
I'd eat a grasshopper too if I didn't have anything else to eat.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't.
put fruitcake a little bit above grasshopper
Okay.
in the movie for me, anyway.
You see fruitcakes in gas stations. You see fruitcakes everywhere around Christmas time, and all anybody ever says about fruitcake is how shitty it is. Comedians joke about it. People talk about how shitty fruitcake is. The only person I have ever seen in my entire life that eats and likes fruitcake is my stepdad, and he is known as the human garbage disposal. He will eat anything.
Everybody send your fruitcakes to him.
For real, if you're at dinner with him and you have anything left on your plate, you literally just hand it to him. That's just normal, common practice around him. Is you just hand your plate to him when you're done eating, and he will finish it, whatever it is.
Yeah, my dad did that when we were younger. Don't want to waste. He would just finish the kid's plate or finish our plate.
Maybe the thing with fruitcake is that it is so bad, and every person that thinks of themselves as a baker, a home baker, they like, I make good fruitcake.
I'll
And
bet
so
That's right.
they're all trying to make this good fruitcake. That's why it's passing around in the holidays, but really, still nobody wants it.
Yeah, they're that person at the office pool or sitting around the water cooler and goes, "Listen, man, you haven't had fruitcake until you've had my fruitcake."
Right.
I'm serious.
It's
I'm
like
serious. Any other fruitcake is just bad, I know, but my fruitcake is
That's a walk away.
is to die for.
that's like
That's a
Brussels.
walk away.
It's like Brussels sprouts. It's like some
My Brussels
my
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. You've never had my Brussels sprouts.
well, you haven't.
You're right, and I haven't had many people's fruitcakes either.
Most people's.
Most people's.
Next time we got Brussels sprouts on special at work, Steve, you should try them because we fry them up and put buffalo sauce on them, give you blue cheese, and say you figure it out.
Yeah, we were talking about this at work the other day. It's like if you got to dress something up that much to make it bearable, maybe nature didn't intend for us to eat it.
I would
That is
say, yeah,
not-
just. I mean, it does sound good, but I would say just give me a chicken wing instead.
But you dress that up too. You dress things up because it makes it more enjoyable. Everything.
Like eggnog.
Name
with
me
whiskey.
one thing that you eat just as it was intended by God.
Wait. Well, let's
Yeah.
let's clarify this though. Those things that you dress up are still good by themselves.
Okay, yeah. But name me one thing that you
An
eat
apple.
without dressing it up at all.
There you go. An
literally
apple,
as it was intended.
Orange.
apple, or any fruit.
Okay,
Banana.
so you
I don't
Grapes.
eat dressing on my salad.
you what?
He
That's
just
No.
insane.
straight up vegetables,
He-
no dress.
No dressing on my salad
That-
ever.
I don't know.
It's a
That-
healthy, sad life.
You deserve E. coli.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's so dry.
I hope you eat a Caesar
What?
salad.
What? I mean, the lettuce is wet.
Yeah,
when
we
you chew it, it's moist.
that or something, man.
I mean, you guys make it like you got to put dressing on a salad. Otherwise, you're like eating a bowl of saltines.
I would do that before I eat. Saltines are my favorite food.
Yeah, I eat saltines by themselves. That would be another thing that I would say that I don't necessarily need to put
great
anything on. I mean, those are actually really good to have in the car just to snack on. You
God
get
did
that-
not intend for you to eat saltines like that. Saltines were not made. Listen to me. You said bacon. You said bacon's a thing you would eat just the way it comes.
Yeah.
But you
Cheese, too.
still cook it. I mean, everything like. You said apple. Somebody said that they would
I
eat.
said apple. Yeah.
Do you eat the whole entire thing? Do you eat the little stem? You eat the seeds and
I
the
don't.
core?
I think
Well,
we're
you don't
getting.
do that because it's poisonous.
What?
It's poison.
Yeah. You're not
What is
supposed to
Apple
eat
seeds.
apple seeds.
Arsenic? What's in apple seeds? Not arsenic.
Ricin.
There's nicotine on
It's
tomatoes.
ricin.
There's nicotine in everything.
No, it's arsenic.
Are you making fun of me?
I think
No,
we're.
it
Get,
is
Okay.
arsenic.
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
I
What
think we're
about
getting.
cheese, huh? You don't do shit to cheese. You just pop open that string cheese and start peeling it off and eat it. Or does that count as a modification?
Yeah, because it.
It's a
Modified.
modification.
I don't know. I feel like we're straying too far from the
really
original point that Brussels sprouts
Let's bring it back to the important thing.
are
guys. Brussels sprouts.
they are disgusting by themselves. Even if I'll give you cooking them, I'll let you boil them. and put some salt on them. They're gross by themselves. You have to do these other things. A chicken wing is good plain. It's just fine plain, right?
We have to cook it though.
That's true.
You can cook a Brussels
cook- you
sprout,
have-
put salt
yeah.
on it.
And it's
I think
still
you're
bad.
splitting feathers there.
Yeah.
Who, me?
You have to
I'm
cook
just
it
trying to
eat it.
defend
The
Brussels
fact
sprouts.
that you have to cook a chicken wing is just, you're splitting feathers. It's-
Yeah, that I don't think that's missing. That's not like within the realm of what we're talking about.
Maybe not your
Some
realm.
point, all of these discussions are the same as one person going, I like blue. And the next person going, I hate blue. I like it. Right. Here's why it's awesome. Blue sucks.
Well,
I
that's
don't
why
like it.
we're here, isn't it?
Yeah. Do the Haywood Banks song. Yes, it is.
Yep, that is why we're here.
So, Steve-O, it's a little bit late now, but Kegel said tell Steve-O only his audio is going through on the mixer feed.
Woohoo!
Well, it's fixed now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I hear it's fixed, Kegel.
Yeah, I asked him if it was okay now, and he said something, and then I said, well, how about now? But I've got my phone, and I've already checked it. It's good.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not monitoring chat because I got like low internet here.
Yeah, we're definitely all coming through.
Good.
Oh, play that mouse being cooked video. Send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. So
We all agreed we didn't want to see that.
okay. So we're really putting that on here. Okay. All right. Let's see.
I mean, you got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got it. Let's
You
see.
got it. Flaunt it.
I got it. I'm gonna flaunt it.
So is this at a known burger chain
In Hawaii.
in Hawaii?
Yeah. So it says don't eat at that place.
Wow.
See?
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a mouse.
Yep.
I can't.
There's some horrible kids.
There's
Yep.
They
some
look
horrible.
exactly the same. They look
Yeah.
like the same person twice.
Some people are giving giving away their identity on this on this video that's going
Yeah, that's the
viral.
Idiots, man. They put these videos of them doing nasty shit in
Exactly.
restaurants, and they're like, "Here's my face."
Yeah.
Cards.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, they tracked down the Burger King foot lettuce guy pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Foot lettuce.
Yeah. He was stomping on all the lettuce.
That's
Burger King
disgusting.
foot lettuce.
Yeah, Dave. Dressing covers that up, you know.
Oh, covering up foot, it doesn't fix it. It's
Yeah.
still got foot on it.
The
It's
last
like
thing you want in your Burger King burger is someone else's foot fungus. But as it turns out, that might be what you get.
It's so good.
You
That's
ever seen the video?
yeah.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. Anybody else got anything else that's being praised that shouldn't be?
Fallout 76, boom.
Oh, segue.
Yeah, so if anybody has been contemplating purchasing Fallout 76 because we all love Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and Fallout 4 was, it was new, it was nice. I do not hear great things about Fallout 76, and I've not played it yet, but every single review I've seen has been very negative.
I just Googled Fallout 76 review. The top thing is it's from IGN, and you know how Google just kind of gives you a snippet of what's in the page. The only sentence that I can read is, the rich wasteland map of Fallout 76 is wasted on a mess of bugs, conflicting ideas, and monotony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the people that played it said it's kind of a boring game. There's not any NPCs per se. You get all your quests from going up to a computer terminal and then doing that. The enemy AI is downright retarded. I was watching something where he was fighting some wasteland creature, which I've never seen before, so it has to be part of the West Virginia theme. But he just got down on a lower ledge and it couldn't figure out how to attack him anymore. Like, there's no pathfinding in it.
That's lucky.
It's lucky, but it's also a sign of a shitty game. If I hide behind a tree in Red Dead Redemption 2, the bear's still gonna find me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna find you.
Yeah.
That's
and,
lucky.
the day one patch for 76 was bigger than the whole entire game itself.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's not a good sign. Also, looking into it, they've been working off the same engine for 12 years and just trying to modify it and update it the best they can, but it's still horrible.
This is from PC World. Fallout 76 is worse than we ever thought it could be, and after 30 plus hours and a stream of increasingly frustrating bugs, we're calling it quits. 2 stars. Scathing review.
I feel like this is like it was Bethesda's way to try to make some quick money while they're working on. They have this some sci-fi thing. I don't know if it's called like Star something. I don't know. They're working on a sci-fi thing, and then they also have the Elder Scrolls 6. And I think it was basically to try to cash in on the ARC crowd, people that like those kind of games. But
is that what it is? Is it kind of archy?
No, it's like it's more it's Starfield. It's more if you mashed up like that more like Elite and Dangerous and Arc. And
Right.
what's the other one?
I was talking about Fallout 76.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Starfield one. Sorry.
No. But Dave, you have played. You do have it. You like it, right?
Yeah, actually, I do.
You like it?
I do. I enjoy it.
Why?
I think the interesting point for me is I've always been intrigued by the Fallout 76 idea. And when I would play before the regular Fallouts, I always got frustrated at lower levels because it seems like I'm always fixing myself over and over and over again. And playing this, it starts out that way. And, I don't see any difference because I don't have the exposure to that old, I wouldn't say old, but the other Fallout, the original, the classic, whatever. With the NPCs. So my entry into this whole Fallout world at such an exposure, meaning I've gone further than I have in other Fallout games, it doesn't matter to me. So it's not missed upon me that there are no NPCs.
Right.
You're looking for holotapes. You're looking for terminals to hack, and those things were in the other games, and I see what the game can do by having those types of things and how they'll be able to add things over time a whole lot easier by having no NPCs.
So you're just talking about kind of expectations and people just comparing it to the previous games without really looking at what it is.
Yeah, is it buggy? I don't know, maybe. Was that patch bigger? Yeah, but I also understand that it was actually the whole game. Does that make it right? I don't know. I think it kind of misses the point of a preload if you've got to re-download the game again after launch. But it was a little bigger than the original game. So I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe that was engine tweaking. But I haven't had that big of a problem with it, and I think it's fun. I love how your little base comes with you, and it keeps the thing the way it is, and you can move it. And I had a good time.
Maybe I'm coming at it from my first Fallout was Fallout 3 and all the DLC, and I had a fun time with that because it seems like in that one they even had the karma system there, so just like Red Dead, you do good things happen, you get better prices, you do bad things, people come looking for you. I think that was still in New Vegas, but it seemed like they dropped the ball to me in Fallout 4 because I still remember missions I did in New Vegas that were awesome, like actually had consequences to the choices you made, where in Fallout 4 it was simply go here, shoot this guy, bring this here, come back, or it was just fetch quests or go take out these guys. It just seemed a lot more repetitive than 3 in New Vegas did. So,
and I think 4, there's a whole other side of 4 with the modding where you can put mods in even on console. And I think a lot of people are missing that. That brings a lot of new life into a game. It makes it last a lot longer. So I just think that Bethesda, they've made no bones about it. The only thing I can say is when they've written letters or tried to produce information for the community to understand where they're coming from with this project of theirs is they'll always write it on regular, like a letter, and they'll type up this nice long, well articulated, wordy piece, and maybe even print it up on some kind of parchment paper, and then some motherfucker gets his camera phone out, sits up in the corner, and takes a picture of it, and then they tweet that picture. So you got to keep zooming in the damn picture to read this fucking letter, and they do that every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they would just put out a post piece that you could look and, I mean, what they say in these things is genuine. This is the first time we're doing this. We're got a lot to learn. I hope you stick around for the journey. By the way, we're new at this. We've got a lot to learn. This is, I mean, and they're being honest. Oh, I appreciate that honesty. It's refreshing.
That whole idea just makes me picture some like fucking goofy tech company in California where they're all sitting in beanbag chairs and they're like, more personal to people. I know. I'll write out the note. And then you
just falling for Todd Howard's bullshit, man. You saw him at the Apple keynote. Like, oh, look at this. This is awesome. This is, oh.
Hey, guys, remember penmanship?
I tell you what, the next letter we're going to put out, I'm going to write it in calligraphy.
Yes. It's going to be.
I'm going to write it in red ink on black paper. Let's see what kind of fun we have with that.
The same guy who wrote that paper was the same guy who said, oh, we know there's bugs in 76. We'll patch it later, because they're known for patching their games to a point where they're completely playable.
I do think you're being a little harsh for not having experienced the game, Brado.
I'll give you that. You're right. I'm coming from the point of disappointed fan of the longtime series.
And see, that's why I feel like I'm in a unique position, because I haven't played those other Fallout series in lengthy. I played Fallout 3 the most. I own Fallout 4. It was great. I started it and I said, man, I really like this game. Ooh, wait, look, there's a chicken. And I started playing something else again.
Yeah, I kind of see both. I see what you're saying, Dave, but I also see the caution because I haven't got it. I love Fallout. I think Fallout 3 is it's like my top 10 favorite games. I love that game, but everything I've seen on this kind of is warning me off from it. But I do like the you have to experience it line, because it's at some point it's just like, hey, try kicking the balls. Like, do I need to experience me kicking the balls to know I don't want to do it? Like, maybe I'll ask somebody that's been kicked in the balls, and they'll go, "Man, you don't want to be kicked in the balls, dude."
But how could you know?
But
I mean, you can make
You don't know.
You can make the same argument with math. Oh, some people say they really loved it
For a while.
Yeah, for a while.
That in-between phase, that was awesome.
So I tried to get it in when we were talking about calligraphy in all caps. With I was going to segue into this with capital, but I missed it. I just missed it. So, but here it is. University lecturers told, don't use caps. That's in all caps in the headline. Students.
I knew it.
University lecturers have been told not to use words in capital letters when setting assignments because it might frighten students into failure. Staff at Leeds Trinity School of Journalism have also been told to write in a helpful, warm tone, avoiding officious language and negative instructions. Some blasted the move as more academic mollycoddling of the snowflake generation, and enhancing student understanding, engagement, and achievement memo lists do's and don'ts, with do's and don'ts among words frowned upon. Course leaders say capitalizing a word could emphasize the difficulty or high stakes nature of the task. But the memo says, despite our best attempts to explain assessment tasks, any lack of clarity can generate anxiety and even discourage students from attempting the assessment at all. Generally, avoid using capital letters for emphasis and the overuse of do and especially don't, and that was all capitalized. The memo also says that staff must be explicit about any inexplicitness.
What?
It's like, I can't even process it.
Yeah, I know you paused for a second. Is that really what it says?
It's in quotes. It's in quotes.
Is this in the Onion?
No, this is express.co.uk. Must quote
Oh, UK?
any
UK?
explicitness
Ah.
in their assignment briefs. And it warns that when students are unsure of an assessment, they often talk to each other, and any misconceptions or misunderstandings quickly spread throughout the group, usually aided and abetted by Facebook. This can lead to further confusion, and students may even then decide that the assessment is too difficult and not attempt it.
You're telling me if some kids saw at the top of the page, in all caps, use a pencil, not a pen for this test, that's going to trigger somebody, and they gotta get therapy.
Oh man, I don't even know if I can try it. I'm like, all I had is a pencil, and I can't. Like, I'm gonna have to ask somebody for a pen, and I just can't.
That just gives me anxiety talking to people.
Oh no.
How will I become a functioning human in society?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, we will coddle you if you can't.
Oh,
make
and
it.
yeah,
Here's a puppy and a coloring book.
tagging on it again. Students at Manchester have voted to ban clapping over fears noise could trigger anxiety and suggest using jazz hands to show appreciation.
No.
Is college preschool now?
Basically.
college preschool. Yeah, it's
I have heard that college is just like a 4-year summer camp.
daycare. Yeah, it's like a daycare.
It's
When you were reading that, it literally was bringing tears to my eyes. I'm so mad because
Triggered.
these kids are paying to go to this school. Like,
Oh
what?
no. In the UK, in Manchester, it's paid for. You're the city's paying for it.
Okay,
It's even
fucking
worse, so
forget that I
tax-
said
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
Like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? You know
I
what?
you sound very all caps right now.
You-
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
triggered.
I'm triggered.
I'm triggered.
Convey that it is important. It is not to convey like fucking
You're
back
yelling
off,
at
back
me.
off. I'm getting scary on you because I'm writing in bigger letters. It is to convey importance.
Yeah.
That is the reason that
Or
shit
just to
exists.
catch your eye to make sure you don't miss this part. You know, this is in all caps. So, hey, I saw that because it was in all caps. Oh, I'm supposed to use a pencil. Okay, cool. Now I
You
know
know,
the
it's like-
information.
It's like when kids are, you have the little kids and they start screaming, you go, use your inside voice. Now we're supposed to go, use your lowercase voice.
It's when our
Use your jazz hands to get attention.
It's when our college students of fucking Coral Reef. Like, they have to be fucking safeguarded, and you can't go anywhere near them, and you can't touch them, and you can't talk loud around them. You can't do shit. They're a fucking endangered species.
They're already under a lot of pressure being in college. They don't need the extra pressure.
Unless you're that bitch on the snorkeling trip that didn't listen to the guy when he said, don't stand on the coral reef. She fucking stood right the fuck on it for like 30 seconds, a minute. She was just kind of fucking with her goggle or with her mask, I guess maybe rubbing out the inside of her mask, standing on the fucking coral reef. Not like, oh, accidentally my flipper touched it, or no, she fucking set up shop on top of this coral reef.
I just thought it was rocks.
And he explained that. He's like, even stuff that looks like rocks, those are all living things. That's part of the coral. And it's a bad idea to disturb it because we're out here, he didn't go into this, but it's because we're out here all the time. And if everybody just sets up shop on top of a coral reef, you're going to kill it.
Just like college students.
Yeah, just like that.
Those poor fuckers.
I like how it says one person might be discouraged, and then they'll spread it to all their friends, and then they all might become discouraged.
It's mass discouragement.
What do we do?
I don't know. What do we do?
What do we do about that?
It's
We just fucking. I guess I'm discouraged now because it's spreading to me.
We start verbally assaulting college students everywhere we go.
They have to go to school.
Just make
at
fun
home.
of them like bullies in an 80s movie.
Well, I'm certainly not going to applaud their efforts. I mean, jazz hands their efforts.
Don't.
yeah, do not applaud their efforts at all.
I need to look up coloring book companies that are public and invest in them.
You know what this is? I just figured it out. Okay, so you have like what big pharma and you have big whatever the fuck else there is. This is big therapy. Like the therapists of the country have all banded together and like, what can we do to get more people and just and
So
ensure
they're
our future as therapists and our family's future?
firefighters setting fires is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's big therapy. We figured it out.
Big shrink. It's big shrink.
Big shrink.
Oh, big is uppercase and shrink is all lower.
Holy shit.
That's good.
Like this guy, remember we talked about those 3 researchers that put out all those fake papers that got published?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
one of those guys, Peter, well, 2 of them, one of them was Peter Boghossian, and I saw him on he was on Rogan's podcast, and I saw him on a Gad Sad's show, which is a guy on YouTube, another professor, and he was saying like he's a biologist, and he was teaching about like how attraction works, as far as like what you're physically attracted to is not something that you're deciding necessarily. Your sexual, all that stuff is basically, it's a hormonal thing that it's not like you're just making that choice logically in your head.
Right.
And he gave an example just offhand in class where he said, for instance, I might not be attracted to a 400-pound woman.
Right.
And somebody in class complained, and see, there's in the U.S. under Obama, they passed this Title IX legislation where on colleges it is actually illegal to discriminate, and they also have put like sexual harassment stuff falls under Title IX too. So he literally now is in a legal, like he couldn't really go into any details, but just because of that one statement, when he wasn't even saying. He wasn't saying I don't like 400-pound women. He was just using an example. Just because of that, now he has gotten in a lot of trouble with that, and still, I guess it's still out as far as what's going to happen to him, as far as he's going to be able to keep teaching or pay a fine or.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
the other professor was like, "You should have said I don't like blue people."
Yes,
instead of
right.
green."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like saying when I go to breakfast, I don't prefer orange juice, I prefer coffee, and all of a sudden, oh, you're in trouble.
You're discriminating. You're discriminating against citrus.
You're not supporting the citrus farmers of Florida.
You're not supporting Florida farmers.
It's like I should buy some orange juice every week and just pour it down the drain.
Yeah.
They would love that if you did that. Yeah.
Even though I don't like it, it gives me kind of this acid reflux thing, or they're out of the pulp. And I prefer the pulp, but they're
Yeah.
out of the pulp. I should still buy orange juice that week, even though pulp wasn't available, just to pour it down the drain.
Now, how is it that you go to a gas station, or I'm sure the supermarket is the same way, but I always get an orange juice on my way to work at a gas station, and there's always one lane for the pulp, and it's only some pulp. It's Tropicana orange juice, and then at the top of the label it says some pulp. Okay. So I'm assuming that just means it's not the amount of pulp that would normally be there, but they took some out. And then all the other ones, there's like 3 lanes for no pulp. Where's all the pulp going? Where has all the pulp
Going to feed the pigs for the McRib.
It's all sugar water with a little bit of vitamins in it. Just don't even bother with it. It's bullshit. Becca, what were you going to
Orange
say?
juice?
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't remember.
It's Pulp Fiction.
You look like I just seeing Becca like she's in such pain, and I start to feel bad about bringing up stories like these because I feel like she's hurting over here by this.
It is so disheartening.
It makes her more mad than any of us. I think. I get angry and I laugh about it, but you really feel it. I feel
it's like, okay, these people, they cannot take pressure. They cannot take capital letters. They cannot take somebody not liking them. They cannot take any of this. Fucking pressure turns fucking shit into diamonds. Like, you are getting turned into a sponge.
Right.
You are getting turned into a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I like that shit. I like that pressure turns things into diamonds. That's profound.
Yeah.
You need to be writing that down. Write it right now. Write that down.
I just
She only writes down our boring words.
Yeah, I never write. I feel like I'm fighting back tears about this. Still, it makes me so angry. I don't understand how people cannot just fucking deal.
And why don't we know any of these people? Like the
Exactly.
people that feel
We
strongly.
associate smart people
college
for the most part.
I mean, Lo, I like, yeah, we know kids that are being brought up to, and taught to be their perfect little snowflake, but that's not their fault. Like, I don't know anybody that's like, we have to make sure that the children never meet any resistance at all.
Steve,
You know-
I was going to bring up a story. It's like, we weed those people out really quick. Ask your sister how she feels about hanging out with me.
Yeah, Brad made fun of her because she brought up how when she was a kid, she wanted to be, actually, like right up through her teenage years. She would always tell everybody that asked her what she was going to be. She was going to be a marine biologist. And so Brad just started giving her shit like, yeah, every little girl wants to be a marine biologist. And then, of course, she responds with, I really did want to be a marine biologist. And he's like, it's like, well, so what did you do to try to make that happen? Well,
Lived in Montana until I got.
I got as far away from the ocean as
She
possible.
could have
That's right.
said studying fossils or something, but no.
It only seems landlocked.
Well, it was once underwater. They've got seashells up on those mountains.
I feel like I could ask her to spell Nautilus and she'll get it close.
Nautilus? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Oh.
Not a
Well, it's like a Nordic track for the '90s. Jim.
Yeah,
I'll
one
get you a
of
picture.
Yeah,
the biologists.
Now that I think about it, there are a couple of college students that I know, and they do fit the bill, kind of, for this situation. It just
It's a little dim.
It just-
a little dim.
like I would rather just these people. I just don't ever come into contact with these people because I don't.
You come into contact with them, they just piss you off on a regular basis.
That's they do.
So to answer your question, that's a Nautilus.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
It's a prehistoric animal right there. Yeah, those things are
It's-
cool.
It still lives in water.
Yeah.
Ask Stevo's sister where they live.
It's a picture of Montana.
You
All
can't.
right, I'm gonna quit ripping on Stevo's sister for an hour.
I don't know. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Hey, welcome, Troubled Dark J, to our followership.
Good.
Troubled Dark J, have you ever wanted to be a marine biologist?
I thought he was like coming onto the street for a second.
No. I just looked down at my phone and noticed that we have Troubled Dark J is now following. So welcome.
Can you say that slower so I can understand it?
Troubled.
Troubled Dark J.
Is the J capital?
Dark and J are capital.
Ah!
Trigger.
Yeah, Dark J is capital. It's Troubled Dark J.
Okay. Now I
He ain't got a lot of trouble, is what he's trying to say.
Welcome. You came at the right time.
did come at the right time.
Yeah, it's actually been there for a minute, so I hope he's been enjoying the show.
No, he's already unsubscribed and
Yeah.
it doesn't show that.
It's out of here.
He's out of here.
Oh wow, our viewer count went from 2 to 1.
As soon as you said hi,
Yeah, because we said hello.
maybe he's a college student and we were a little too forward.
Maybe.
Well, he wouldn't have stayed around that long if he's like, oh no, capital letters, I got to get out of here.
Pressure of being addressed openly.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he didn't want to be addressed.
A lot of people don't like that when you got people watching your stream. You
That's
just say, hey, what's up? If you feel like chatting,
Yeah.
chatting.
Yeah,
Well,
if you push it too much,
yeah, I didn't mean to go that
they'll
far.
just, yeah.
I wasn't trying to take it to the limit, but there was question on how it was pronounced, so we talked about it a little longer than we should have.
I just asked if he wanted to be a marine biologist.
He never
No, the
answered.
best ones, and you can check him out on YouTube. A guy I mentioned him before, Ethan Van Sciver, comic artist, Pro Secrets. He is the best live streamer there is, I think, because he'll set up the stream. He'll have 1,000 people watching. He'll start he'll do something like start reading an article. He'll do commentary, but he can also still keep his eye on comments at the same time.
Mm.
and he'll actually answer stuff at the same time, but then he'll do the super chats. He'll section those out, and it just like he just flows from one thing to another, and then he'll bring in guests. They'll just pop in, and he's doing all that shit at the same time, and he does it all being funny. It's really, you want to see a good, like, as far as what we're doing, somebody that's really good at it. Check that guy out.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Look up Comic Artist Pro Secrets on YouTube.
Comic artist. Pro secret. I'll let Brad look that up.
Well, I got the Google page up. That's all I wanted to do was get into my history.
What's
Dave, what's going on, Dave?
He's watching that cat.
I'm checking the chat. I was looking to see if he went away, and he did.
How has your time been out wherever you're at, Dave?
It's been good. We had a great Thanksgiving, and then traffic coming up down here sucks so fucking bad. I left in plenty of time. Took me forever to get here.
Did you fry a turkey this year? I always want to hear about this.
No, because we've been renting these cabins. You don't want to fry a turkey on somebody else's property.
But Camp Turkey is the
Never.
safest
What?
place.
Camp Turkey.
Camp Turkey is pretty safe, but Camp Turkey's at my house and not at Hales Bar Marina Resort.
Start a full fire.
Yeah, I was trying to talk my dad into it again while we were down there, and I said, there's this spot over there. It gives us plenty of space. It gives us 30 to 50 feet away from any structure whatsoever. And he goes, again, what are we gonna do with the oil?
Dump it in the lake.
Yeah.
Well,
Dump it in the lake.
well, my response is, there's actually a restaurant down at the bottom of this hill where all these cabins are, and there is a vegetable grease depository because that's where the restaurant dumps their stuff. And I said, we just put it right there. So you just want to use this oil one time and throw $30 worth of oil right in? Wow, I guess you're right.
You can give it to the
You
restaurant.
want to fry a turkey or not? You got to pay the price, baby.
Well,
And we've been doing it just so fine. I mean, when you get the cabins, there's 3 ovens, and so we're fine. I still fry turkeys on Christmas, and I look forward to it.
Oh,
You
you
know-
do.
if you did decide though to pour the oil into the lake, the like oil, it's of course will spread out on the top of the lake, and it actually will diminish the ripples. It'll make the lake look smoother. It'll be a more pristine pristine looking environment.
Yeah,
Or you could set that bitch on fire because oil on top of water is flammable, and have a cool show, and then enjoy the pristine lake.
There you go.
I like.
Well,
Yep.
this oil would have to be hotter than 375 degrees. That's its flash point. So
Put a lighter up to it. I'm pretty sure that's hotter than 370.
it doesn't stay lit. That's what I'm saying. It's got to heat up to that.
But if the oil next to it
Sounds like you
is
got
hot-
yourself a hobo fire.
Okay. I was trying to think about what Brad was thinking when he just did whatever that was.
Flash.
Brad was saying he could get a fire hot enough. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if you keep it all in the pot, sure. You just throw something flammable in there, and job's done. Nothing to worry about after that. Bonus points if you want to start throwing frozen chicken nuggets in that boiling oil. See what happens there.
What happens?
It turns into popcorn chicken.
I feel like that's a good point to say. Don't actually try this at home.
Becca.
That's right.
All caps. Don't try this at home.
Triggered.
Becca, you have been doing a lot of writing tonight,
I've also been doing a lot of scratching out.
scratching and writing.
There's been several theme changes. The poem was originally about Thanksgiving, and we only talked about that for like 5 minutes, so I couldn't get any more stuff from that. So it's not really about Thanksgiving anymore except for the title.
So it looks like your poem is basically literary dermatitis. So it's all scratched up.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be.
Art doesn't need to be pretty.
I just ran into the stranger in Saint Denis that's like, art's stupid. Vagina, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody else has had that, so it's not
He's
just me.
talking to that
Sounded
guy.
like,
That
sounded
goes-
like we're back to last week.
That goes to funny places. Keep talking to that dude.
That was the perfect
Yeah,
ending
I
to my
was-
poem. Thank you.
That's what she was stalling. She needed one more thing. That's
Glad
what
I could help.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
I just-
So is it? Go ahead.
I just want to find Gavin.
Gavin!
Gav,
Gavin!
I'm so worried.
Do you ever find Gavin?
I don't know. I hope so.
I'm asking, like, you can tell me this spoiler.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah, I've not found him.
Okay. I thought this was a beach thing. I thought you guys were just out on the beach looking for Gavin.
Gavin.
I mean, now we can yell that, and people who have played Red Dead 2 will laugh, and they'll be like, yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you?
If you find Gavin or not.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I guess. I would like to know if there's anything more to it. No, don't. Because if there's not any more to it, then that'll kill it.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll be happy to.
Yeah, just.
You
I see what you did there. Well played.
For the listeners, Steve muted Dave. Dave still thinks he's talking.
No, Dave muted himself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad. Damn.
Just because you mute yourself doesn't mean you can't hear us talking. Saying, Dave, oh.
Shooting the six guns. Dave, that was genius. That was really good.
It really was.
Everybody needs to go back and watch the video.
Yeah.
Master trolling at work.
I'll take it.
Gavin!
Becca, it's that time.
How am I supposed to follow that genius? All
Just
right.
yell Gavin a couple
Lay it
times.
down.
It gets it right.
Give me a second. I'll just fart. That'll bring the whole intellectual property down.
Just
And,
make sure it's in lowercase letters.
and the original question all the way back around. What can you do with your genitals?
I can do this. Oh, no. It's the sound my genitals make.
What's it connect when the bits connect?
Connect!
All right, it's poem time. Everybody, quiet. This one is called "Just Like the Pilgrims." So everybody, shut your genitals up. It's poem time. What is that? Stop, Dave.
Just pans over to Dave and doing that with a mouth.
Now I understand how college students feel. All right. Now that I've said everybody shut your genitals up, let's talk about genitals. Like the Lord intended. Hide it under a bushel. No. I'm going to flaunt it. People who play say it's a shitty game, but I've always enjoyed it. Fixing myself over and over again, from shit to diamonds. Others came looking for hollow terminals. It's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be. Art is stupid. Vagina is the truth.
That was brilliant. Brilliant.
There you go. More genius right there. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song.
Leave a 5-star review on iTunes and support us on Patreon.
And
Here.
oh, sorry, I stepped
Yeah,
on
follow our shit on Mixer like that one guy did.
you. Yeah. We just got our first new follower that I know of during the show. Anyway, also don't forget we still got that voicemail. You want to be part of the show? 865-316-6955.
Call up and just say, is Brad there? Does he want his beer back? Oh, there you go, guys. Boom. Can't end this podcast on silence. Kevin!
Hey, you got one of you guys say that number again. Somebody say it again.
Or both do it at the same
Yeah, do it at
time.
the same time.
That's impossible.
Yeah, I don't know if timing
If
latency
you can
works.
time it so that it just cancels out and you can't hear it at all.
That's right.
Stevo, I'm going to slam my dick against the door and you'll hear the bangs. And then on the third bang, we'll do it.
All right.
It looks freaking fucking heavy.
Hold on, I got to get ready.
Are you?
He's got get that wiener out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get it out, Brad.
Let's go.
You did set this for 18 and up on here, right?
Nope, too late now. Let's do this.
Oh my god.
Kevin!
Here we go.
Ow!
Oh my god. Why are you slamming the door on it? Oh.
865,
316.
That was great. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I started to say my own phone number.
Once
So I
again,
just made my
stream,
hand into a fist.
and then you can see Brad slam his dick in the door. That's why you got to watch the stream.
Dick
All
door
right.
Brad.
Don't recommend it, kids. But
Thank-
all caps, don't do this at home. Do it at work.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Deuces the diamonds.